splicing and posting on YouTube. And so I will repeat, this is a live commentary of a public video. And so this is my opinion only. And if there's anything that I cannot prove with the receipt, it'll be alleged. And then you can make your own assumptions. So here we go. Okay. Let's have a little chat.
Says my live video is starting, and I believe it has started, but I'm just going to make sure. Yep, it is on. Perfect. All right, so this is the beginning of me telling a story that it's uncomfortable for a lot of people to hear, and so they want to put me down for doing so, and they want to tell me that speaking publicly about this is unacceptable or incorrect in some sort of way, and that just makes me know that I am doing the right thing in sharing with you in a way that is kind and clear and truthful.
This is not the video I'm talking about,
over this past
which was her reply video. This is not it.
I wanted to start off with this video speaking about the prayers that I had. The prayers that I had for a wonderful union of strong souls under Jesus, and the prayers that I made for over 2 years while waiting for somebody like that to come into my life. It's raining in here. I prayed really, really deeply.
For the YouTube watchers, whenever you hear me laughing, it's at a comment in the chat. If you hear me talking to somebody, I'm replying to somebody in the chat.
I don't have it with me. It was just a tiny little
I did
notebook.
just come on, yes.
I wrote a prayer. This prayer was very, very simple. I wrote this prayer and it said, God, Father in heaven, please send me a man of God who loves you more than anything and who will love me as Jesus loved the church, just as you say in your Bible that we are called to do for one another. And I wanted him to be strong in the faith, and I wanted him to love my daughter more than anything, and to be a healthy, strong...
I'm putting it at 1.5 because the words. Am I in church? Mel.
Every day, and I would pray for 13 minutes because for myself, 13 was the day that, there's my 13 on that side, it's on this side. 13 was the day that God saved me from myself and my previous old life, and so I prayed for 13 minutes every single day, and I prayed very, very deeply about this person who I wanted to be able to form a family unit for myself and my daughter. People have asked me in comments, almost criticizing me in comments for not being with her father. And the truth is, her father and I do not share the same belief system in any way, shape, or form. And I did try to make it work for a small amount of time while pregnant and while she was born with her father. We did not see eye to eye. We don't believe the same things. And for myself, being so deeply ingrained in what I call being a Christian extremist, as a funny term, that,
yeah, that's the truth.
To work out in that manner, and I'm not going to get into that story because he still is my daughter's father, and
the reason that she won't get into that story is because she went to court to try to take full custody and she lost.
And I thank God for that relationship.
And now she's saying that she's thankful that he has a relationship with her daughter. That's what she just said. However, it was court ordered. She wanted full custody and wanted to take. Let's watch that again.
That it wasn't going to work out in that manner, and I'm not going to get into that story because he still is my daughter's father, and publicly I would have nothing terrible to say about him because he really does love her, and I appreciate his love for her, and that is wonderful, and their relationship is beautiful, and I thank God for that relationship.
You shouldn't thank God for that relationship. You should thank our wonderful, wonderful justice system that deemed him fit in order to have a relationship with your daughter that you wanted to perhaps take him away from. The 8 people that are watching on the outside, I really invite you to come in. You will not be blocked as long as you are not rude to Misty or to myself, because this is an online commentary. We're not here to call anybody names, bash anybody. We're here to have an online commentary and our thoughts on what is being shared. Don't be a creep and a little rat in the back. Come inside the room. Hi, Lisa.
Who understood where I come from, which was prison, like I said in my previous.
If you're just coming in, this is forwarded to 1.5 times because there's a lot.
Which is
Hi, Mary.
almost complicated in this day of age, being like anti-Western medicine almost, which it has its time and its place, but anti-government, which it also has its time and its place, anti-establishment basically, and all of those things wrapped into one. It was part of my wedding speech. I said it was very, very hard for me to think of finding somebody who
what don't you know?
Not vaccinated, so now that's like 0.05% of the population, and then be Christian and not vaccinated, and doesn't believe in.
That's true. She did say that at her wedding speech. She says, I had a long, extensive list of what I wanted in a man, and George, you meet every single one of those points. And
the population would be suitable for me as a partner, and I said that would be the same.
Your volume is so low on this, eh? I did.
2020, so that was kind of my little bit of a joke. But to be honest with you, I do find it very, very hard to be compatible with just anybody. And so when I prayed and prayed and prayed, and then one day, this wonderful person called me. I don't want to say people's names because I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just telling my story. But you guys all know who I'm talking about. He called me, and he said, "Hey, I had a dream about you. I was just wondering about you." I was like, "Oh, I'm good. That's cool. Nice to hear from you." It's like, "I'd like to come for a visit sometime." I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds
Okay,
good."
so she's explaining how her and George got together romantically.
So I had a dream about him, and I don't remember what the dream was about. My dreams are very, very lame. They're like kind of like I went to the same store that I went to like the day before, or I dream about the person who
no, I will be talking to her today. So I do have a meeting with 2 exes today that we will be talking to. I've already spoken to 1 ex. Now there will be 2 more.
We made plans to have a visit, and he drove down, and we did have a visit, and the visit was wonderful, and we ended up.
Okay, let me find the reply video instead, because this is not exactly what I wanted to look at. This would be, it looks like I don't have the video. Did she erase the video about the reply video about you and I? Girls, the one that we watched on Friendsmas, is this the one we watched on Friendsmas? Because I am currently not able to locate it, and I feel like that's not what we watched, is it? In the meantime, I will keep playing it. No, she was outside. So where is it? Can you guys locate that and send it to Pat's Messenger, maybe? In the meantime, it's on her other page. Can you guys send that to me? I don't think that I'll be able to access it because here we're logged into Pat, and she unfortunately blocked Pat for having opinions, and that's her right. But, you know, that seems to be happening a lot lately, unfortunately. Okay, so let me just go back to this Facebook. Go to feed, because okay.
Don't be late for work about it.
Don't be late for work, you're saying? You're talking to me? How can I be late for work? It's only 9 o'clock.
I know. Remember every time you do these on Tuesdays, you're late for work.
I know.
That's all.
Okay, so let's have, okay. If you have not yet seen...
Mongoose.
that's not it. She's so cute. Okay, so I would just like to make reference to it just went through to Messenger. Okay, I just want to make a point. My last video live on YouTube that I said that the Bible tells you to, you know, judge and despise homosexuals. We have Lynn here who says the Bible said nothing about hating homosexuals. What the hell are you talking about? You don't judge? Well, that's laughable. I don't. I am saying that the Bible has lots of judgment. And I gave then some places where she can go confirm those things in the Bible. Now, this is part of the first live. If you guys don't know, it's fine. I was just making references to the fact that the new Christians that read the Bible to a T and that they really go overboard is not my cup of tea. For me, I love my God, but I don't love the religion. It says I'm cutting out. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. Now, what's really, really funny is that Misty started to comment in that YouTube video that's named Freedom George Speaks Up. She started to comment and make a bunch of comments in there. And then she logged into this account and started speaking about Misty as if it wasn't her. So she's like, Misty's going to be sharing her story soon. You'll see, blah, blah, blah. But then fucked up here where she's still commenting, thinking she's commenting under the Misty account, but it's this account. So I thought that that was really, really, really funny. And then she says here, Pat is erasing all comment replies by Misty. See, she's talking as if it's not her. Linking the further evidence of the abuse on the live video on Facebook is insane. We have not erased any comments of hers at all. We leave them up there. They're all there. All of Misty's and all of its lit custom designs. Now, luckily, I do have a screenshot of Misty tagging its custom lit designs from way long ago. So I can confirm that it's her because, you know, I always come with receipts, right? I'm not going to just say, oh, it's her, you know? So here's Misty's reply to her saying, I did not get upset about the flowers. He continues to lie. I was thankful and grateful on the day. And only a month later did I bring up that he only did it once. And after I had asked him to. Yes, we did confirm that. I said that in my life. I said, you came up to him and you said, I would love, you know, acts of kindness and romance. And if you could get me flowers because you asked for more romance, which he did. So you're just repeating something. But then she goes, and yes, I did say it would be nice if the flowers, it wasn't from my garden, from seeds that I planted myself. You're not helping yourself here, honey. You're still showing the exact person I showed in my previous video. You just came back here to confirm that, yes, you are that person, which is not very likable. So, Patrick, do you mind? I'm on a show. Thank you. I'm kidding. I have no idea how to use this computer. Okay, so this is Misty going, and she goes. Okay, let me tell you, she goes. She doesn't stop. So this is her saying, in a reply of somebody talking about Pat, she said, his speech at my wedding made my skin crawl. Mentioning sex so many times, it made me truly not want to consummate that marriage. I will play the speeches a bit later down the road. Oh, Misty, don't worry. Please enjoy your trip. I will take care of that for you. Enjoy your trip in Thailand. I have the speech right here. Now, because I sent it to Pat's messenger, the first part is cut off. Please go see for yourself. The whole speech is on YouTube before someone says, she cut out the part where you talked about sex. I did not. It's just because Messenger didn't allow me to send it fully. And so I would like you to focus on Misty's behavior here because she seems very happy, content with the speech, giggling, cuddling George, getting up and applauding them to hug.
You can make that bigger.
Okay, we'll make it bigger. No problemo.
Right there.
Why is the volume?
You gotta hit the volume button too.
Misty one time had an opportunity to help in a really big way. A lot of the things that we've done.
I could zoom anyways, don't worry.
She had a really key moment, and one day she asked me, if you had one thing,
I'm gonna zoom more on Misty, okay?
What would it be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you know the story, you know the story, and this is where Misty became our ninja. Misty took the opportunity and met with Jason Kenny, and she dressed undercover. She dressed up as a religious ethnicity, and she wore her burqa.
She's laughing.
She went in as a media girl and got the story. In fact, sent Jason Kenny a little message. So that forever will be our ninja. Misty.
That was Misty's portion where he talked about how, you know, she came in the picture.
George. When I first met George, I thought...
I would also like to make a comment before I continue. Misty claimed that George made his wedding all about him and that it was the George show and it was this. So here we see a man acting more like a man. You know, he's more subdued and he's, you know, just nodding. He did shed a few tears with Pat's speech. He got emotional, but he didn't like over dramatize it. And here we have a woman, and usually a woman is more demonstrative, and she's laughing and she's getting up and she's putting her hands on George, and then she gets up and, you know, cheers for them to like ding, 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 like it's a kiss, right? So we see a totally normal, you know, man and woman relationship. And, you know, to not offend anybody, a born male, a born female, and the usual characteristics. I'm not saying that she's overly excitable, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it was completely beautiful and normal behavior. What do we search on YouTube for that video? Go on The Real Pat King on YouTube, and you will find it. Okay, so let's continue.
This guy's nuts. Turns out he's the nicest man I've ever met. The best friend I've never had. I confided in you. You've been my confidant, a friend, and a shoulder to lean on when I needed it, George. And I have been through a few things, a lot of you already know, and it only strengthened our bond. And I'm proud that's to be standing here and being called his best man.
It's a little bit forwarded, like it's on speed, but you can see here that she's asking them to kiss, and everybody laughs, I guess, right?
I know that some people in this room today would say Misty and George should have gotten together a long time ago. And I still remember the day that I said to George, go get her, man.
So just to explain what's happening here, he says, I do remember telling George, go get her, man. But George had other plans. He had to hold the line. And so we played right away. We hooked it. It's hold the line because love isn't always on time. So George got shocked a little bit. The music came on. He's like, oh, is this a glitch? But then everybody starts laughing and Pat's like, you know, enjoying the... Okay, are we ready? Let's go.
Love isn't always on time. And on that day, George went out the door instead of chasing after, and he went and held the line.
He went to hold the line.
Here we are.
And Misty's going, yeah.
At the right moment. And I feel today, this moment is yours. Enjoy today. Enjoy tomorrow. And always remember, bro, hold the line. Hold the line. And Misty, with all your ups and downs, like I said, be in bed. Finally.
Okay, did we hear that, you guys? That's how he ended his speech. He said, may all your ups and downs, how do I get out of here? May all your ups and downs be in bed. And then he goes, finally, because they were in a courtship from November to June where there was no intercourse. And so we knew that on their wedding night, they would consummate the marriage. And everybody at the wedding knew this because they spoke about it extensively. And that was going to be what was going to happen. And so she then claims that it was disgusting. On her Facebook now, she says that I didn't even want to consummate my marriage anymore. It is a nice speech, eh? Okay. What do we have next? Guys, this is not in order, just so you know. Misty's been saying that she doesn't have time right now to share her receipts of abuse because she wants to put everything together and post it in a timeline or have it all right. And my opinion is that she just doesn't know yet how to tally it all up to make it to her advantage. What are you waving at? Oh, you're so silly. And so she is trying to see how she can put things together so that it does go in her favor. Because in my opinion, right now, on the outside looking in, I don't see anything that's really in her favor yet. And a lot of people are calling her out on that. And everybody that's saying, hey, Misty, what I'm seeing right now is a lot of blah, 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 a lot of, word salad, a lot of claims of abuse with no proof. And all she does is call them abusers as well, because we're supporting the fact that we're not seeing it. So she's calling us all perpetrators of abuse, which is absolutely wild. And you will see that once I do speak with who I'm going to be speaking with tonight, that is not the person that I am, and that I do hold people accountable for their actions. So she claims that she has a lot of support and only a few little people on her page that are against her. If you go on her page, these are all people that are saying, I'm not understanding, you're scrambling, you're making really, really wild accusations with no proof. Now, another thing that she's doing is on her last live, she said the only reason that she went public is because George said something that upset her, and that he started it. And this was what he said on October 2nd. This was the first time he said anything that would maybe upset her. Stress is a silent killer, and I've been under a lot of it for the last 2 months. Chronic stress, distress, psychological, physical, financial, and social. I apologize for not sharing or engaging in all the craziness going on around us. I just can't afford to have any more stress. Monday, I hope to have some answers, and I'll share what's been going on with my body when I feel comfortable. But I'm still here. I love you all. Stay grounded in Christ. So I have, they're not in order, I'm sorry, but there are dates. From October 2nd to October 20th, to November 20th. October 2nd to November 20th, he did not post a single thing mentioning Misty. Okay? And now he got the answers that he needed about his infection, about his arm and everything. And then he decided to share. He says, I'm doing a lot better because it's been 2 weeks that stress has been eliminated from my life. And this is why I have not been involved with anything going on. I'm going to continue taking care. When he said that, oh mon Dieu, she went ballistic. And she's going online saying, he had the audacity to tell all of his followers that since I was gone, he's better. Well, yeah, no shit. No shit. Right? But he didn't mention you. You're just upset because I believe that your ego is inflated. And you don't want people to even think that it may be you. So you said, you know what? I'm going to double down. I'm going to double down. And you did. So on October 12th, okay, again, she went online and said, I had never posted anything. I stayed quiet. Okay. So on October 12th, you wrote, I'll always figuring out for my daughter. A strong single mom can be in the worst position possible. Mental health issues, physical health issues, trauma, pain, life obstacles. And all you will hear out of her mouth is, I'll figure it out. And you best believe, and she will for her and her kids. She was already telling her public she was single, and she was starting to post little nuggets. She's upset that George posted nuggets only on November 20th when she was doing so already on October 12th. And there's more of that, but I'm not going to bore you with all the nuggets. Maybe I have them, maybe I don't. November 20th, we're talking about her reply to his infection on his arm that he showed you. Blaming others for your own actions and playing the victim is deplorable characteristic.
Isn't that what she's doing?
Oh, yeah, but that's projection. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, so she's starting, right? This is where she really starts to go down. And also in my past YouTube video, I mentioned how she judged, or she was showing judgment for people that use alcohol in their weddings. And she's like, I would never do that to my guests. I would never poison my guests. And so I am not serving alcohol at my wedding. This is her post on October 31st and judging all of us outside enjoying our little Halloween outing. And she's judging by saying that we are out there participating in child sacrifice and poisoning our children's immune systems. The judgment, man. Some Christian. November 22nd posts, seriously, to people will literally put you through hell and then act like you're the problem because of how you react to what they done to you. Meanwhile, George has not said a word yet. November 20th, again, talks about domestic violence. Why would she be posting this if she's just, oh, I'm just sharing things I see online? No, she's already starting she's building the script. Thank you for helping me on that one. Okay. Again, George had not posted.
She sounded super fun.
Then, November 23rd, George has still not posted. So when a man abuses a woman and a child, and the friends around that man, woman, and child say nothing and do nothing, what is that? So people are like, are you saying George abuses your child? And she's just loving it.
And planted the seed of dissent and started to just water the flower.
Yeah. November 24th. So what if the abuse is invisible, not physical, and the reactions of the abused woman are used to justify the abuser's actions? Then what? So here, I believe, is when she was upset at Pat's message to her saying, Misty, let's deal with this all together and, with your family and friends. Why do you have to bring these things online?
You're better than this.
Yeah, like anyways, she shared it, Pat shared it. We all know the messages. You'll have to go search her lives to see for yourself because we didn't save our lives at that time. I'm sure saving them now.
Message?
November 24th. When presented with the evidence of only one instance of abuse and control held over myself and my daughter, a truly wonderful and healthy person had this to say. Oh, fuck. So she's claiming that all the people that say that's not abuse, what I heard. We are unhealthy people and we're not wonderful. Okay. And this is one instance where somebody said, ooh, I do see that something's up there. And then she screenshotted it and kept posting it because one person agreed with her. Another one on November 24th. I've spoken at length to his parents before leaving. My mother, who spent over $10,000 over on our wedding, which she didn't, and now we are homeless. That was the one where she's, trying to gather sympathy from her followers and paint George out to be a bad guy for putting a child and a mother on the street. That's not the case. We all know that she's supported by friends and she has places to stay. She's not homeless, okay? Come on. Which she then said on a live. I wasn't really homeless, okay? Oh God. Okay, so on I told you they're not in order. On November 22nd, he said, the things that you should know: narcissists have demons, people preaching the gospel and not following the gospel have demons, and the only one that can heal you is Jesus. Okay? So she took big offense to that. And she started claiming abuse and child abuse and stuff like that because he's making allusions to, not allusions, he's, sharing references to narcissism. And then on November 22nd, he says, I'm hanging out with my son, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, talking about nothing, okay? Oh, belay. I've got lots of screenshots in here, guys, because like I said, I'm not. Okay, let's skip to really quick, just Joe Dolan, you're off of your rocker. He watched a live that Jim Kerr did this weekend, saying that Pat received $20,000. If you go watch that live, that's not at all what was said. So it was $1,000. So if you watch Joe Dolan, I really beg you to really question his
Motives.
not only motives, but you're not getting real information. This isn't news or anything like that, you know.
Lost his mind,
It's a little bit silly.
unfortunately.
So Misty's response to a lot of the comments in her posts are, well, you should read the book that I read. You should read the book that I read to know what really happened when I went to jail, or blah, blah, blah. So when you go look at the book, it says the author is Karen Klassen. So I thought this was funny. He said, so you are Karen Klassen? So she's very like misleading. She's very misleading in what go read the book I wrote. It's on Amazon. Okay. But the author is Karen Klassen.
Where did she say that she wrote it?
Oh, right above. I probably don't have a screenshot of that. These are just, again, comments of people saying there was no abuse from what I saw, like blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is very important. Okay. She broke up with someone else in the past and also went on the same online spiel. She says on May 18th, when she separated from her child's father, I'm honestly so thankful that I was able to remove myself and my daughter early on from the harms of living with a sociopath that feels no empathy and fools other with manipulation. She also claimed that he was a pimp. She claimed financial abuse or something again, same thing. And what's funny is that, you know, that guy that we made reference to, Marco, right, that she was spending a lot of time with while married, he went and, oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. It'll come back, I hope. This is another post that she did in reference to Conrad.
Who she calls Con Dad.
Yeah, because he's
To
a
her
con.
daughter.
Yeah.
That's how she references him all the time. And I was witness to it many times. And you want to talk about skin crawl? You're just like, ugh.
Yeah. I didn't want it to be public. But someone's feeling sorry for himself on Father's Day instead of feeling responsible for the situation he's created over time with his own actions. And then she says he chose harmful actions. She also claimed that he did human trafficking, all sorts of things. But there's more to come on that. If you know, we've seen this before. So we've seen this in November where Misty says, if you contact me, I'll let you know privately everything that's going on with it. And here she goes. If you know me and Conrad, please feel free to message me privately and ask me the details, and I would be happy to share what happened. She just did the same thing with George. Let me gather more people privately so I can't be held responsible for the things I say. But in the DMs, I'm being sent the things that she's saying in DMs. This is the proof where it's Lit Custom Designs on YouTube, and she's making pretend she's not Misty, and she's talking as, well, we see the pattern, yeah. This is kind of foreshadowing here. George put this on September 16th, making no reference to Misty, of course. They were still together. And it's interesting because it really connects to what Misty's doing now in Thailand, saying she has no time to submit proof. However, she's constantly on Facebook, replying to people and putting posts up and these long replies. In a world where social media feeds our need for validation through likes and comments, we often find ourselves scrolling past the very moments that matter most, our families. The pursuit of virtual connection can sometimes blind us to the real connections that nourish our souls, leaving families fragmented and longing for genuine presence. And I truly believe that that's what should be happening there right now, instead of her, being on Facebook. So there's there's somebody that's part of the Freedom family, as you know, and that's who was driving with Pat to the convoy, and that's Carrie. And Carrie is speaking up. She's a friend of George. She's a friend of Misty's, and she says, I don't see anything Christian in this thread at all. This is so confusing, and my gut is churning. And here we go. Have you yet to hear my entire story, complete with evidence beyond what has so far been shared? Not Christian-like? Is murdering Goliath Christian-like? What is not Christian-like is the extreme judgment in my moments of continued online abuse by abusers, Carrie. You think you want to spread truth and you want to judge me before all is even out? That's very interesting. And then she responds, well, I'm commenting on what I've seen so far and the gut-wrenching sickness I feel every time I hear you tearing down and vilifying people who love you, but for not agreeing with you. And your comment above is the proof. So I will add this. I don't know this side to you, Misty. It's definitely not the Freedom person I met in 2022 and I grew to love. And by the way, she was at the wedding of also, like, when I say a true friend, you know, like a friend of the family for sure. If you feel like you want to judge me for my and many others, may I add, who lovingly gave you a little nudge on your posts, our observation and truth, and that is on you. I do wish you all the best in healing and deliverance. Where was my judgment in my comments to you, Carrie? And then she said something that, holy shit, this needs to be like on a billboard. Do you ever just stop and say, hey, you were right? You haven't done anything to deserve my lashing out at you. I'm sorry. Have you ever done that and meant it without actually having to grovel to get something from them? Like a genuine realization, hey, I'm being a bitch. I should apologize. And then actually follow through with an apology. Have you ever done anything like that? You don't need to answer. It's just a food for thought. Have a great day. Facebook. Oh yeah, that's just people. Oh, that's something else. Lovely. We need to talk about that after. Oh, that was funny. Okay, so I think that right now this is what I have in terms of, I wanted to show the timeline of what George posted versus everything she posted, because she's trying to make it sound like George started it. And I wanted to prove that to you that he didn't, because I have all the screenshots of all the posts. I'm going to just flip, and I might need my computer to find that live, because if you're blocked, you might not be able to get it. So Vanessa.
So she strategically dropped me and blocked me from my personal Patrick King page. But she made sure not to block the real Pat King page, because she's now wanting me to respond from the real Pat King page. So that way all of my followers and all the people that are on my page are driven to go see, oh, the real Pat King made a post, or real Pat King made a comment. So 350 some odd thousand people in my life, that's what she did. Now that's strategic. She wants that whole following to come over.
It's cute, right? I did a little something. Okay. Do you want to talk to them while I go prepare my laptop? Because I don't have.
You want this closed?
I guess so, because I don't have the video. Because this is what we want to see, is that video. So please hold.
So my biggest thing to all of this is, hey man, you know, you were both my really close friends. And in a lot of this, the past relationships, I was a part of those. So Conrad and I did a video together at the teepees. You know, they came down and Conrad and I became really close friends. In fact, I've got pictures where Conrad allowed Logan, my son, because my son was really into music, to come up and sing the song Home with Conrad at the Christmas party at Red Dogs. So Conrad and I became really close friends. And then when I found out that him and Misty were having a baby, I was like, well, wow, that's fantastic. I said, that's pretty cool. But all the while there was chatter in the background, and I could see a defeated man. So when I talked to Conrad about it, I talked to him like quite a bit, trying to help, you know, lend my hand, lend my ear, you know, maybe some of my experiences that I've been through, and try and help to hold and mesh it all back together.
I can't find my laptop.
It's on our dresser.
On the dresser?
Yeah, it's right on the dresser. It was, anyway.
Well, no, I just checked.
Under your clothes? I don't know. It was there forever.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good thing you have me.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was talking with Conrad, and all of a sudden that relationship, you need a charger too. All of a sudden that relationship starts to dissolve. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And then, of course, Misty reaches out to me, and she starts talking to me about stuff about Conrad. And I'm like, wow, is this? No. Conrad's the most timid guy I've ever met. Like, very, very nice, very polite young kid. But hey, man, like, people can be on another side of this, right? So, in talking with Misty and hearing all of this stuff, I'm hearing stories about what he's doing and all this. And I'm just like, but I remember a time where Conrad had bought himself a set of tarot cards because he wanted to do a reading for himself. He wanted to, hopefully get some guidance into his music career. And Misty lost her marbles, called it the devil, that he was bringing the devil. He was Satan worshiping in the house and all this stuff. And Conrad like, Pat, what do I do? I'm like, I don't know, man. Get rid of the tarot cards, I guess.
She erased it.
So moving forward, I'm hearing these stories about Conrad. And of course, to a woman and a baby, I'm like, holy crap. But one thing stood out to me in the stories. And so Conrad and I are talking. We're going to have...
She's watching because she just erased it.
Cool. Conrad, I hope you're watching. Because Conrad and I are going to have a great conversation in length tonight. And as you know, if you are in here watching, you know that I was talking to Conrad and all of this. And I'll give you a perfect example. There was an incident where, she couldn't get a hold of him. Maybe he was doing stuff. I don't know. I'm not going to put any words into that. But there was an instance where she met with him. She wanted him to take the erased what, Soph?
Misty's reply video.
So there was an incident where she wanted him to come, and he was like, I'm busy. I'm in the studio. I'm recording. And she chased him around Vancouver at over 150, 160 miles an hour, kilometers an hour. Mandy says she can still
it's on the other account. Yeah.
With a baby in the car, and she thought it was funny because the baby was in the back going, wee, wee. And I'm like, at what point did you decide that you should stop? And she laughed to me about it. She found it rather funny that she did that. And I'm like, that's kind of dangerous with your kid, don't you think? So fast forward now, it's all over. He's still in Vancouver. And I'm like, okay, Conrad, we gotta have a chat, bro. So I have a chat with Conrad. And at that point, I'm starting to hear some of the things. And he's like, bro, it's not like this. It's this. And I'm like, oh my God. And I said to Conrad, I said, he's a rapper, okay? He's a rapper. So to me, it was like, yo, bro, bitches are crazy, right? We were kind of having a little joke. And that's the moment I found out that I was being listened to through recording devices in my house by my ex. And that sent the friggin' spidey senses off. I'm like, these two. Anyways, back to Sophie.
Okay. So she wants us to reply to this video because, well, maybe not publicly, but she says here, I want to prove abuse to Pat and Sophie. And you guys are going to have a heyday with this video. I'm going to play it. I'll try to not pause too much because I do have to leave in an hour. Let's go. It's 33 minutes.
You can make it bigger. You can make it full screen.
Okay, babe.
So what they haven't shown and what they don't have is the 2 hours of recording of abuse prior to that. So I'm just going to quickly play a couple of these. I still want to carry on with my story, how I was telling it, because I still truly believe that it deserves some proper classy and graceful and tactful.
Now she's saying she wants to do it in a classy way.
Abuse tactics carried on trying to weaponize online following.
I'm trying to get the volume up, guys. It's not really... You don't have those speakers you can connect to a computer?
2 hours prior to turning off thing.
Okay, so now she says, you know what? I have recordings 2 hours prior to him shutting the power off, and these are her videos. My friends and I watched it with an open mind because I spoke to George and I spoke to a friend, mutual friends of George and I said, you know, if stuff does come out, I'm going to have some words with George. And so, oh, fuck. And so when she came out with this video, I'm like, girls, let's watch it. Nothing came out.
Who's in here? Saying what you're saying, it happened, and I just said that.
You can hear my dog. I know. So
It offended you.
Freedom George's version of apologizing when he said, that's karma, when I accidentally dropped my daughter after telling her at the supper table, make sure to tell people that I'm a good mom. I was just having this conversation with her, mostly regarding her conversating with her dad.
I won't make this fast because it's very important.
And I know that
I'm going to put it on one time.
even though we were incompatible, but
If you haven't seen this, it is so important to show the way that she manipulates. There's 5 people on the outside, guys. I don't understand why you're not in here. Please come in, say hello. You don't have to say hello if you don't want to, but there's no reason for you to be watching on the outside. You won't get blocked, but it's usually 5 of the same people. Anyway, so this is the story. You heard it from George as well. She's holding her baby and she's grooming her, in my opinion, and saying, make sure that you tell everybody that mommy's a good mommy, right? And mommy's such a good mommy to you and this and that. And so George was seeing this as he was in the kitchen doing dishes. I don't remember what it was. Don't quote me. And he's like, oh my God. And then when she dropped her on her head, George kind of had a giggle and said, shit, that's karma. And Misty claims that that's abuse. Okay, here we go.
this is Tyson Basie 2 hours prior to turning off thing.
God working his magic.
Saying what you're saying, and it happened, and I just said that.
You can hear my
I
dog.
need to charge.
I know. So
It offended you.
Freedom George's version of apologizing when he said, that's karma, when I accidentally dropped my daughter after telling her at the supper table, make sure to tell people
No, this
that
needs to be
I'm a
charged.
good mom. I was just having this conversation with her, mostly regarding her conversating with her dad. So that way her dad knows that I'm a good mom, which he does know that I am a good mom, and I know that he is a good dad.
So then why do you need to groom her?
Even though we were incompatible. But he made the remark after Arya was in my arms at the dinner table, and this is where the whole fight started. And I'm sorry that I'm jumping ahead to this argument and this fight instead of telling the story in succession like I was, but Pat King and his girlfriend Sophie just weaponized my live against me, so they can go ahead and break down.
If you feel weaponized, I really apologize, but I'm just stating the proof of what people's opinions are. And it's my truth. You claim that you want to, you know, everybody has the right to their truth. That is, if you feel like that's weaponizing, you're using big words from therapy or whatever, but I'm sorry if that makes you look bad, but you're putting this information out there. You're doing the videos, okay? And you just scrolled and said, I have hours and hours and hours of abuse. I have so many videos of abuse throughout our relationship. But then after, I have a screenshot of your conversation with Andrew saying, actually, I don't. It's only the last day that I recorded him, and it's only 2 hours on the last day. And you still didn't divulge any abuse in all of these that you're going to be showing us.
Turning off the power, which wasn't about money. It was about control and fear.
So she just said that he's trying to control her and make her live in fear by saying, can we please save electricity around the house? Can you turn some shit off?
And they are minimizing invisible abuses as if they would never escalate into physical abuses, which George has done to his son, which is why his son didn't speak to him for years.
So she's saying that she knows that there's physical abuse coming, and she's making sure that she gets herself out of the situation before that happens. So now she's going off in all her comments saying it wasn't physical yet, but it was coming. So she's claiming that George was going to be physical with her daughter. Yep, she did say that.
Just learned about this physical abuse. It was after he was saved. It was after the convoy. It was summer 2022. And what he did, and you can ask him yourself, is he snatched, because his son didn't want to help him build a Freedom Beach party on his slough in his front yard, which was all about feeding his ego. Freedom George.
So now I spoke to George this morning, and he says it's interesting when we talk vulnerability with our partner and we say, you know, some things that we did in the past, they then turn it against us. Just like, you know, Pat has said in the past that, you know, when he lost his leg, he was given very strong OxyContin when it first came out, and then he got addicted to it, and now people call him an addict and say he's a coke addict and all that. And now George explained how he disciplined his teenager that was like and didn't want to work and had his earphones, and he was this one, honey, and he was probably, you know, being rude, and then had his headphones in. So George took his headphones off of his head and said, come, let's get to work. What do you need me to do?
My laptop underneath. I gotta turn it on so it powers you.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And I just want to say, because some comments said, well, you know, breaking things in front of your child is abuse. Okay. I want to say this, and you can weaponize it against me if you want, but I will say this. My child spoke back to me holding his phone one time when I told him to do something. I don't remember what it was. And that was the first little inkling of attitude that, like, it was like teenager attitude, and it was very disrespectful. And I took his phone away and I broke it. I said, you do not deserve to have, these electronics in your hands and disrespect your mother the way you just did. And he's now 13, and he still remembers that. And he says, I never spoke back to you again. And he remembers that, and he knows that there's, if, you know, I speak to you with respect, and I always do. That's the way I raise my kids, is that I don't make them live in fear. You know, my type of parenting is, as Pat might call it, gentle parenting. So there's consequences, exactly, and you don't get to have that phone. And it was an old phone, you know, like an old freaking thing I had in my drawer, and I would let him use it, and he lost that privilege, right? So I spoke to George. I know what he said, and Misty's repeating the same story, but she calls it abuse. Okay, that's her opinion, but I just want to share with you my opinion. Okay.
And his son didn't want to help him build it. 16 years old, not interested, didn't sound like a good time building a beach on a slough. And his son said no. And he instead attacked his son, grabbed the headphones off of his head, broke them in 4 pieces, threw them at him, and told him to go to his room. His son instead left back to his mother's house, never to return again. I learned that story after I left, after I started speaking out. And that is the behavior that I was seeing, what he did to me and my daughter, escalate towards, which I had to stop us from going to. So anyways, going back to the beginning of our argument, I had Aria in my arms at the table. I had cooked a great meal for myself and his farm at Tom. And so while we were eating, they were finished, and Aria was now eating. She tends to eat after us because she's kind of playing.
No, so this is something that she doesn't want to address. She says Aria doesn't eat with us because she tends to play. This is something that George didn't agree with. And they would have discussions about this, is that a child shall eat at the table with the family, and she would refuse to eat. And she would be like, no, I'm not eating. And then after eat when she was hungry later. So there was no routine. And that, for me as a parent, my kids know we eat at the table. There are no phones. There's no TV. We discuss as a family, we have conversations. Then you're free to do what you want. So then they had discussions about, you know, when a child doesn't want to listen, you put them in a timeout for the amount of minutes of their age, because George was doing a lot of research online, hoping to get answers on how to help Misty with Aria's behavior. And so she said she's never going to stay in her room for 2 minutes. She would never do that. She's not going to listen. And so that created, you know, that type of back and forth because they didn't agree on parenting styles. So she just confirmed it. Aria doesn't eat with us. She's playing and she doesn't want, okay. So I just want to, I'm connecting the dots on what she's doing in the comments and.
Arms, and I had my legs crossed on the chair, and she was in my lap, and I
She's
had
two.
her in my arms, and she was wiggly. She's super wiggly. She was wiggling around, and
No, she's not wiggling around. She's fighting you, and she's hit you in the past as well, you said.
I wasn't supposed to be able to conceive. I was supposed to be not able to conceive, and then I did a lot of health protocols and detoxing along with Aria's father, and at that point in time, I was able to conceive miraculously and have this beautiful daughter.
Okay, now she's doing word salad.
That's my thought process.
Go back to where you're grooming her.
Father at least 3 times a week, if not more, on video call. And the video call earlier that day, I was just thinking, I wish she could tell her dad like how good of a mom I am to her. So I'm at the table having.
Isn't that ego? She said it at the beginning. I know that Conrad's a good dad and he knows I'm a good mom. But now she's on a video call with her dad and all she wants is for her daughter to tell Conrad what a good mom she is. And she's like, I just wish she would tell Conrad what a good mom I am. She's 2.
Conversation with my own daughter, being like, you know, Aria, lots of mommy's friends always said that mommy would be such a good mom. I said, my whole life, my friends have said, you will be such a great mom, Misty. And I was always a little bit sad because I didn't think that I could be a mom for a long time.
No, you didn't want children for a long time. People from your past have told us that you didn't want children. You said you were too selfish.
I couldn't have this. And so I said to her, your mommy's friends always said how great of a mom that I would be. Make sure to tell people if they ever ask you, say, mommy is such a good mom.
Grooming. Yeah, you said that to her.
Yeah,
we know.
I said that to her. It wasn't like go out and proclaim this to the rooftops.
It wasn't?
It was an internal conversation and dialogue I was having with myself.
Internal conversation with your ego.
Child and my daughter and her father. And I was having it out loud to my daughter.
Oh, but then I had it out loud.
Tyson was doing the dishes. Freedom George, I'm going to name names now. Freedom George is doing the dishes.
You're allowed to tell your story. You're allowed to say his name.
As I'm sitting in the chair. And Aria's wiggling. I'm saying that to her. And then she wiggles and falls out of my mouth.
Thank you.
I'm like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to rewind it a few seconds just for the YouTube that they didn't hear that.
And I was having it out loud to my daughter. At that point in time, Tyson was doing the dishes. Freedom George, I'm going to name names now. Freedom George is doing the dishes behind me as I'm sitting in the chair. And Aria's wiggling. I'm saying that to her. And then she wiggles and falls out of my arms. Basically onto her head on the chair. And I scoop her right back up and I hold her. I'm like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm so sorry. And I just sat there in shock. I'm like, oh my goodness, she's so wiggly. It's wiggly. I'm like, that was ridiculous. I can't believe I was just saying I'm such a good mom and then I dropped my child. Like it was
Things
a
happen.
moment for us all, and we all laughed. Tyson and Tom. A couple minutes went by. Tyson was doing dishes, and I said it again. I'm like, look over at Tom, and I said, I cannot believe that just happened. Like I said, I was a good mom, and then I dropped my daughter. And do you know what Tyson's answer to that was? From the kitchen, he said, well, that's karma for you.
Well, she seems to think it's funny.
Psychological and emotionally abusive.
Oh, it's so abusive. I'm laughing.
And he said, oh, I'm sorry it offended you. And then I just stopped talking. I couldn't talk to him anymore. So this is him reiterating how he said, oh, I'm sorry it offended you, after saying that it was karma that I accidentally dropped my daughter after saying that I was such a good mom. So here we go. This is him starting the argument in front of my
Because
daughter.
it's her ego that was embarrassed. I hate TikTok.
Don't say this in front of my daughter. And And throughout all the 2 hours of recordings, there's 7 different times where I'd say to him, stop saying this in front of my daughter. I would stop arguing for about 15 minutes, and then he would come back and argue with me some more. And I had to say multiple different times, please don't do this in front of my daughter.
It's funny because she just said I had to tell him to stop doing that. But yet she plays a video of him needing space and her going back and hi Shorty, of her going back into his space. Schmitty's of her going back in his space and gaslighting him when he needed space. But then I don't know, the story doesn't line up.
Can I make a comment to Smitty quick?
Smitty, she's more left than you think.
Validation to go around, and you dropped her? It's God working his magic on you.
Weaponizing God. That's what you think?
You're sitting here, saying what you're saying, and it happened, and I just said that.
I know. So.
It offended you.
And I'm sorry it offended you, because now she's mad at him. So he raises his voice like that, not screaming, but he's like, I'm just saying this happened. And that's the tone. This happened. And then it was funny. And I said, well, that's fucking karma, isn't it? So so she decides to film him or record him or show that clip when they've already been discussing it back and forth for a while. And that's just him now, like, being like, is this ridiculous? Like, you're being ridiculous. That's his tone, right?
This is exactly the abuse that I'm talking about.
Oh, abuse. Okay.
It is abuse.
Oh, it is abuse. Okay.
It was karma for me dropping my daughter instead of being like, oh my goodness, is she all right? Are you all right? How are you?
You knew she was okay. This is after.
Man of God. And it
Because you said that you guys all laughed with Tom after and giggling about it.
It offended you. So yes, this is abusive.
I need to charge my phone too. Can I do it from here?
Sorry it offended you.
All the things.
And now this?
On the other side.
Going around pouting? What?
I didn't go around cutting. I sat on the couch after dinner, and I sat with Aria. Aria watched shows on the TV that he wanted me to shut off, and later he wanted me to shut off. I'm not going to try to like lie like Sophie and Pat do on their lives.
Oh, we're lying. Interesting.
Session matters. Timing matters.
Yes, don't worry. We have the
In this house where a man could be that callous and that abusive to me with my daughter, and I was trying to numb. So I was just scrolling, and he criticizes me for scrolling when it was my numbing from the abuse that I was just enduring.
So he's not criticizing you for scrolling. He just said, oh, now you're pouting and, you know, you're going to cause a big thing over this because she was on her phone and she calls it numbing. Let's go.
Pouting is you. Because karma bit you in the
I'm
ass.
sitting
Karma.
for asking the 2-year-old what, Tyson?
Go around and tell everybody how good of a mom you are.
Explain to me.
That's validation you only ask from God. Or from somebody like me or an adult. Not a 2 or a 3-year-old.
Do you think that George is right here? He says, you get your validation from adults and from God, not from a 2-year-old.
So he's talking about validation because I shared with him a book on validation called
Oh,
I Hear You.
oh, this is going to be long. I remember this part.
Tiny little book that I found.
I'm sorry about the volume, by the way.
In order to conversate with people, because I continually educate myself on communication due to being in the personal care service industry and also just being a lifetime learner as well.
Personal care industry? No, you're shilling products that are not legal in Canada and giving people
Tyson.
products that have illegal ingredients in them and making them send NDAs so that they don't come back at you and talk about how you're doing illegal practices.
Something up and showing what you truly think about me.
No.
In what I was saying to my daughter.
You're a good mother. I'm not making anything.
No, you didn't.
You're making
George here is, she's now lying, and George is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I've always said you're a good mother. Why are you saying this now?
I've said it many of times.
What did you just say now? Today.
I said karma got you for
Yep.
what you were doing over there. That's what I said. And then I said I'm sorry it offended you. After you said it was very rude.
Yes.
So after you said it was really rude and it hurt your feelings, he said, I'm sorry it offended you. I'm sorry. And she rolls her eyes. He's not allowed to apologize if it hurt her. Okay, I get it.
I said I didn't want to talk about this right now, and we shouldn't be talking about it in front of my daughter. She asked me to practice letters right now. So that was one of the many different times that I told him not to fight with me in front of my daughter. Now I'm just gonna like continue moving on, but there's many hours of this type of stuff.
So here she's saying there's many hours of this type of stuff,
Small markers on this, but I mean,
which she then said,
go through all of this again is just
actually, it's only the last day when we broke up that I have video recordings. And George said the reason that she keeps scrolling like that and she doesn't know which one to pick is because he says she was yelling at him in those recordings, and she hasn't gone around to clipping probably, and that's why she's not sharing it, because he said she was really going after me. And if she was recording, because he's not aware of this, that he was being recorded, but he remembers the day very well and said what she was saying to me was nutso pants.
reopening the harm of the abuse. But I'm being forced to due to the continued abuse from online weaponization by Pat King and Sophie now. Freedom George weaponizing Pat King and Sophie. And it's
I'm a weapon
really
now.
sad that they've fallen
Nobody tells me what to do.
for-
Nope.
For yelling, for being angry.
Then why did you come to the door for somebody who didn't want to talk?
Because-
Why did you
because
come to
you-
me and
because
try and barge into my room? Why did
See, so George left. He's like, I'm moving myself away from this situation. And then she barged in after she asked, can we not do this in front of the daughter? And so he's like, fine. So he just separated himself. And now she barged in to continue. And he's like, why did you just barge in here? And then she's raising her voice. Do you see the contradiction? She is so mixed up in her story and her lies that she's showing you on her own live, how she's lying to her public. And we are doing this today to really bring that forward to the public.
you try to come and yell at me?
And she's laughing.
You putting all these things on a female is so female of you.
You know what? You come at
She says, you're putting this on me? That's very female of you. Interesting, isn't it?
me?
You're so female.
Ew.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
You're so fucking manly.
Somebody's got to be the man around here.
Somebody's got to be the man around here, she says. And she's sharing this with you guys. I have not heard one thing that he said that's demeaning to her, that's hurtful, the way that she is doing it. And she's so cunning. She just said to his face, you're so female and there's got to be a man around here. Oh.
Take that last shit, tits.
That's the second time. Earlier you said Facebook, you have a photo of you black and something 10 years ago, and now
You can see in your eyes the possession.
And now you're
I had in you.
and now you're-
Said you don't have the devil in you.
and now you're calling me. He just said that you have the devil in you in front of my daughter. And earlier that
Yes,
day-
because you're coming at him. Your eyes are black and he's like, look at you. Like, it's like the devil's coming after me. Like, relax, right?
Facebook post of me in a black bathing suit. He said that I look demonic. He's calling down my physical appearance, which is actually very abusive. I've never called down his physical appearance. When I said
You just called him female.
thought that I was calling down his physical appearance when I said that's so female, but I was not doing so. I was actually referring to the way that he was being like highly emotional and not rational and not leading and lashing out.
Oh, so you're saying that like as an insult. So every female is like weak?
Female instead of like strong, grounded, rational male. And so when I said you're so female, it wasn't regarding his long hair, which I think maybe that's what he thought, which is why he thought
No, that's not at all what he thought. He thought exactly the way you meant it.
Eyelashes, your fake boobs. He literally turned around and tore at my physical appearance, which he married me for. Like, I don't have fake eyelashes on now. I actually have.
But you did in the photo, and that's what he was referring to.
I just sometimes wear lash extensions, and that's not wrong. I shouldn't be criticized for wearing lash extensions. As far as fake breasts, I've had them for 15, almost 20 years.
And now she explains, I got the fake breasts because all the women in my family have them because we're all very skinny and we have to have boobs. And you don't need to explain yourself why you got boobs, girl. Okay? We all want to look good.
Calling down my physical appearance, and this was all the same day prior to him turning off the power, which is what Sophie and Pat King are on this live saying that it was so innocent and Tyson was just trying to save money. He never told me once before that he wanted me to turn off the lights and save money, but I had noticed him walking around the house and turning lights off, and so I actually went around the house and turned lights off often. So him trying to say to them, I came home and all the lights were on and everything was on. It's like, if you can't afford $7 a month for the TV and $30 a month for lights, why are you asking to marry a woman with a young child?
But we know she's not really Christian, Schmitty. Her comment is, Jesus would tell you to love yourself the way God made you. Yeah. But she's a new Christian, remember?
Traditional provider, as Sophie keeps on saying over and over and over on this live. If she didn't want to marry a traditional man with traditional values who raises children traditionally, yet abusively, like he just abused his son.
There's the word again.
And I just woke up to this in Thailand. Continue on my story. There's plenty more abusive yelling.
Oh yeah, I can't show you that one.
On my phone here. Like,
yeah, I can't press on that one.
All this right up into here. This is all moments of Tyson abusing me.
We need to screenshot that. I'm gonna go back and screenshot and see the date because she says it's only the last day.
I'm still going to tell the story how I want to tell the story. But I had to pause for a second, dispel these heinous lies of...
There's no lies in my live, Misty.
Pat King and Sophie want to say that Pat...
Okay, she's going to go through all the text messages between Pat and Misty. We've done this before. I guess she doesn't know. She's thinking that she's doing like this big aha moment.
I wished him a happy birthday in August.
Okay, so she goes through all of their text messages. We know.
Hey, just seeing your checking.
We already did this, and you're not helping your situation because Pat was very good to you. Okay.
To not know that he's gonna come home drunk or on drugs when I'm in the middle of the nowhere with my daughter. So I left the house because he wasn't coming home.
So she's weaponizing his past addiction issues by saying, now I'm going to rewind it a little bit. I do have to go soon. I apologize. So they're talking about the fight when they had a text messaging fight and she left. So he came home and he's like, you left?
Every hour for 3 hours, and I texted him multiple times and he didn't come home. So then I started packing my things and I left. And that was in July, 1 month after our marriage. So I left that time, and as I was driving away, he got home and he was so angry that I wasn't there. You abandoned me, he said. Typical gaslighting. I'm like, you left the house.
No, you told him to not be there.
I wasn't coming home because you told me not to.
Exactly.
I'll tell the whole story with the texts and the receipts.
Well, you just confirmed it. You told him not to be home because you wanted to leave and grab your things. So he left. When he came back, you weren't there anymore. And he's like, you left? Abuse, fear, and control. Okay.
My message to you guys.
Yes, I'm listening.
Is stop until you've heard my whole entire story.
Girl, I've been waiting over a month and a half.
Sure, go right ahead. But you keep on buying into these false narratives of Freedom George, the perfect.
He's not perfect.
Who Misty's so mean because she wanted real.
No, you're
flowers.
manipulative. You're not mean.
Flowers for me once after I asked him to. I brought my own flowers home prior to that. I set them on the thing. I have photos of it all, and I did not tell him I don't like his flowers that he picked. I said, "Oh, that's so nice," and then. A month later, when he was abusing me, I said, "You only got me flowers one time after I asked you, and you didn't even buy them. You picked them that I planted in the garden." So yes, I did criticize him, but only after abuse.
Okay, so you showed your true colors when your narcissism mask fell off because you were faking.
to completely build a false narrative.
No, I'm using your own videos, actually.
Actual abuse that was happening when I am only in response to abuse. Never do I start a situation. Show me a time when I started a situation.
I can't do that. I'm just going off of your own videos, Misty. Sorry.
Anyways, I was talking to Pat. He says, after that, he said, I was going to reach out to you. I was in Ottawa today and just walked in the door.
Sorry, I'm going to forward because I have to go. And we all seen the conversation with Pat.
Also at work with a client. I never talked to him because I was at work with that client until very, very late. It was probably like 10:30 or 11 until I was with through abusing myself and my daughter.
Oh.
After promising to God that he was going to protect us. But he was calling me my daughter's stress that was relieved out of his life. He was also calling me demonic. He was saying sometimes people in Christ.
There's only 9 minutes left, Schmitties. I don't know if I will. Maybe I could because I am uploading on YouTube, but
And on top of that,
I do have the kids this week and I don't want to be online when they're there.
that I left, this is what he posted on his TikTok.
I do have time to finish, actually. I just looked at the time. Oh, okay. This is important. This is her reason for going off at him because she said, Freedom George posted this on his TikTok to stay away from single moms. What he did was he reposted a TikTok video. You know, repost, like it's not a video that he posted. It's not on his wall. It's a repost. And it's basically saying, you know, these types of women are sometimes problematic. And what she said was in this video, if you do date a single mom, just know that you will always be second. You will always be second to that child. That's what he reposted. And now she took that as the biggest insult. And she's using this as the reason why she is now going public. Patrick, you're right next to me. Have I always said that to you, that you would always be second to my kids?
Always.
Do you take that badly?
Not at all.
Okay. But you know your position, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, you come second to my kids, right?
Uh-huh. There you go.
I'm about to break down 10 types of women you should never date or marry. Number 1, the woman who drags her stress home from work. Instead of love and softness, you get arguments and resistance. Number 2, single mom. You were never going to be her number 1. Her child always comes first, and the ex is usually still in the picture, and you are
He posted this the week that I left. I don't know if it was like the day. When I tell my full story, I'll have all the dates.
So what?
But Pat, what you are alleging that one person is staying quiet and not airing their issues on social media is completely false. I was the one who stayed quiet for
Nope.
a month.
No, we went through this earlier.
I stayed
If you
quiet.
missed
I did
it,
not
sorry, but we went through all of the posts earlier and she started way before.
From his house because I was afraid of what he was going to do, which he did end up stealing something of mine. He ended up stealing my grow lights.
Your brother gave him those grow lights as a gift.
Some seeds I accidentally took of his because they were in my box of seeds. It has my box with my writing. It says seeds at $2,000 worth of seeds in there. He had about $200 worth of seeds in there. I packed them in my haste, in my stress, and in my rush, alongside my dear friend who brought his truck and trailer up to help me pack.
Oh, this is another important part. George said that trailer was big enough in order for her to pack all her things in 2 trips, not 4. She keeps going back and back to his house and taunting him, showing up with Marco, putting papers over his cameras so that he doesn't see what she takes.
They are abusive. They are abusers. They are abusing me through false lies.
I'm abusing you now. Oh mon Dieu.
Online following, and I'm not afraid of them because
I'm not afraid of you either, but this is online commentary is all.
real life and aren't just internet like followers know the truth about them, and it's sad because Sophie's falling for it. I don't know her, but like this whole thing that Pat is doing is abusive and disgusting. So anyway, he goes, all the while the other one is acting out of play on social media and being systematic in what they're posting and pointing fingers without pointing fingers. So basically me saying I'm a single mom, which is the truth, was me being systematic in posting. Like,
You were.
if I'm not allowed to say that I'm a single mom and hey you guys, I'm working at the hair salon full time.
No, Misty, you're allowed.
earn money
But just own that you started posting online before he did. Don't lie about that.
No, like Pat, you're being absolutely ridiculous saying this. Need a little bit of water. Then he goes forth and says, what I went through with Christy and the behavior.
Oh, this is Pat's text. Okay, we don't need that because we showed that more than once.
So if he wants to have an open dialogue about this now, the stress is relieved out of my life as an Arya.
She's talking about George's post.
I'm watching what is happening and I'm seeing behavior that concerns me. Out of respect, Misty, please stop the online digs at George and please keep your personal issues off social media. You're better than this behavior. So then I just responded to him. I said, you're no friend of mine. You don't even know.
There you go. She won't even listen. She's like, you're no friend of mine.
I sent him the audio recording.
That's it.
When Tyson shut off the power, which actually was abusive. And you can see Pat and Sophie try to say that he was pleading with me, that because he's broke, he never brought that up once to me ever.
But he did in that moment, and you still taunted him.
That he was attempting to try to be a traditional man, and I do appreciate and respect that. I'm not a callous, cold-hearted person, and him saying, no, don't pay bills, that landed in my heart. And so I went ahead and I went and spent hundreds of dollars on brand new boat seats.
Okay, so this is George wanting to be a traditional man and saying that his wife doesn't have to pay for things and he wants to take responsibility for the household. And so he's like, but we're going to need help as a team where you help not waste electricity. And then now she decides to share all of the things she spent on George throughout the relationship. All the tinctures I spent on him and the supplements and the pills and the NDAs. Oh, yeah.
Him saying that I was ungrateful for him, or Pat and Sophie alleging that on their live on YouTube, saying that I was ungrateful, saying that I didn't want flowers from the garden. That's not true. I did want flowers from the garden.
No, you didn't.
Flowers from the garden regularly. And me.
You confirmed it in your live earlier that you didn't want it to be.
Spend $80. That's what Tyson said. You want me to spend $80? No, you can literally get a $25 beautiful bouquet from Costco.
So you're confirming you don't want from the garden, you want it from Costco.
Important in any way, shape, or form to show me any sort of love when asking me for so much physical attention during moments of deep trauma for me, dealing with my brother at home, showed me that he was only interested in his own selfish needs and not in protecting and loving a strong woman of God or her child. So that's enough for today. I'm going to end this. My story will continue in a more peaceful, loving, and graceful way. Pat and Sophie, like what you guys are doing and what you guys are saying, you guys should be the ones who stop. Take your own advice and stop while you're ahead, because people are watching. I'm not a terrible person. I didn't do terrible, horrible things as you're alleging. And Tyson is playing you guys like a fiddle. I have first-hand accounts from people he grew up with.
She scares me.
First-hand accounts from people.
Okay, so let's talk about the first-hand accounts. I'm going to close this. I'm going to just finish this with a few things.
Villainize him, but
okay. Speaking of first-hand accounts, I have a very important phone call with somebody, and the reason I don't want to mention this person is because I don't want Misty to get to that person first and try to convince them otherwise. And so I've got that conversation later. And then we've got a conversation with Conrad. And I also had a conversation with somebody who wants to remain off the internet. Oh, thank you. And this is an ex of George, a recent ex of George. And there's other exes as well, so that I can gather up as much information as I can. There is one thing that is not a secret. And as a child of generational abuse of alcoholism, okay, I am a child of that, and I broke that curse. And I shall continue. I'm trying my best with the kids, although, in Italian families, wine is prevalent and it's celebrated. But I do not believe in using alcohol daily. And even, I don't spend money on alcohol at all during the year. If I have a drink, is because I want to and someone offered it to me, and it's very, very rare. And so as a child of parents that were in the AA movement, I know alcoholism very well, and I know the disease very well. One thing that George doesn't shy away from is talking about the fact that he used to be an addict. Okay. The reason I struggled there is because you are always an addict. When you go to your AA meetings, they say, "Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm this." The reason I'm not saying it is because I'm being recorded and they're going to clip that. So you are always an alcoholic. You were always a cocaine-man. You were always a narcotic. Yeah. And so he stopped using drugs many years ago. Did he relapse? Yes, it happens. My dad continuously relapses, and I'm always there for him in support. And I understand the disease very well. It does take strength, Schmitties, to talk about it. Unfortunately, in a lot of times when you're a public figure and you talk about it, George and Pat, it comes back at them as a weapon.
Always.
And Pat was vulnerable and explained what happened with the opioid addiction with OxyContin when he lost his leg. And then they come back at him and call him an addict and call him a cokehead and call him this. So he must be on this. Just this week again, who was it that said, Jim and Pat are together, they're drug buddies, and they we haven't seen Jim since Pat's court was in February. So it always comes back. And so this is what's happening now. She used it against him in this video. She says, "I don't know if he's drinking and doing drugs and going to abuse me."
I just want to say to some of this is, guys, you got to understand. I'm not intentionally trying to stick up for anybody. I don't care what it is, but what I am doing is I'm bringing awareness, and I want awareness to people making false claims to men and women of what's going on in their lives. And when they air this shit on social media, it's not the place. If this was seriously a situation of extreme abuse, then you would be in the police, you'd be at a psychologist, you'd be at a psychiatrist, you'd be working on yourself, not out on social media, airing out your truth and trying to get validation and likes and hearts from other people. This is where the concern comes in. And this is where I've been sitting in the background talking with George all this time.
I gotta go. I want to finish my
and just people need to defend people and stop it. Sophie and I have been going through this for almost 2 years with my ex and her mom and everybody else going through this shit. Sophie's become very, very good at spotting this stuff. And she's been an absolute gem in doing this. So I appreciate her for standing up for people too. So.
Mel Monica, I will be uploading this live to YouTube because it's important. And I think that the messages I have received, a lot of Misty's followers, is once they seen our YouTube video, they saw the light and they're like, yeah, okay, I see it now. So I want to do this second part absolutely online. So to finish my point about being a product of alcoholism in many generations of my family, is that I can recognize the disease, and I will make sure that they take full responsibility for their actions, because that's part of the 12-step program. And the exes that I will be speaking with have been with him while he was using. And yes, when you are with a user, it does come with a lot of turmoil. It comes with a lot of ups and downs, and that will be what will be shared about George's past. And I spoke to George this morning, and he says that's part of the 12-step program. You have to take responsibility and you have to apologize to those people, which I have. He has, and he forgot one little point because he spoke with his ex-wife that mentioned, remember that time? And he's like, I had forgotten about that. Thank you for bringing that up, because I will go and ask for forgiveness today for that part. That will not be used as a weapon for a man that found God, got sober, and regulated his nervous system to not have lashing out and anger issues. There will be a woman that will be deserving of this man, that will support him. And unfortunately, that was not Misty. They didn't work out. They didn't get along. They just didn't mesh. And that's all I have to say about that. So thank you for watching. I will be uploading on YouTube for anybody who missed the first part. And if there's more to come, there's more to come.
One more part, though, that I'd like
Baby, I gotta go.
Okay, one more thing, though.
No, oh my
Just
gosh,
one more.
babe.
Guys, men's mental health is a serious thing. And men commit suicide more often than you know. And this is what drives men to unalive themselves, is these false allegations that women claim. So this is why I'm protecting my friend, so that I don't have to go to a funeral later.